Yes.
Isn't it time for your review?
That's right, it is. It totally is. It's my favorite wrestling of the week.
You mean Lucha Underground?
Greetings and salutations, Dave, or I guess technically I should call you Dead on Dave. This is Christopher Daniels, your favorite
Everyone, it's the
wrestler.
Native American Tonka. Want to give a big shout out to Dead on Dave.
Dave, this is Leon White, Big Van Vader.
Dead on Dave. What's up, man? It's the coach.
Hello,
You
this is the
know who
hardcore
it
legend Mick Foley, and I know when I want to keep up with the latest in wrestling news from around the world, I check in with Dead on Dave Productions. He covers a wide variety of wrestling topics, including the career of the hardcore legend. Don't miss it. Dead on Productions. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dead on Dave, and yes, it is time for that NXT review. That's what we do on Thursday mornings here in Germany, Wednesday nights for you guys, whatever it is. It's time for your NXT review, and from what I understand, we have a lot to look forward to in this event. There's some Bayley and Charlotte. We're going to get an announcement of a debut of a high-profile wrestler, from what I understand. A change to the title scene, all kinds of things I'm hearing about. I don't know what they are exactly. I've just heard a little bit. So I'm actually pretty excited to watch the show. I hope it's a good episode. Follow along with me. I hope you guys enjoy it. Remember, all times that I shout out are without commercials. So follow along at home if you like. And I will give you my play-by-play, my breakdown, my analysis for whatever the fuck that's worth, as well as match-by-match, segment-by-segment reaction. So let's get into that. And before we get too far, make sure you guys take note of the little ticker there on the bottom. If you want to get involved in that and donate directly to the channel to help out the growth of my channel, or just say, good job, Dave, here's a tip, go ahead and do that. In the description box below, there's a little link, and that will take you right where you need to go, and you can donate to your boy, Dead on Dave. Woohoo, whoop, whoop. If you want to get a little something for your buck, you can also go to www.deadondave.spreadshirt.com, which you can also find that information right up in the ticker. And you can get shirts like this, the Copious shirt, the Copious mug, the Copious club shirt, and many other things. You can get all that right there. And you can support the channel that way as well. Or just comment, like, and subscribe. You can do that because we're above 1,000 subs. Hell, we're almost to 1,100 subs now. So you can be involved in this new revolution of Dead on Dave Productions taking over the world. We're doing it one sub at a time, and you can be involved. So let's, but enough of all that shit. Let's get to why you're here, and that's the NXT review. So let's kick this thing off, and let's watch some NXT. Let's do it now. Do it now. Here we go. 14 minutes, 39 seconds in, and we got our first match. It was Charlotte and Bayley, and I thought it was an absolutely fantastic wrestling match. I mean, really good, great action. The crowd was totally into it. They're building Bayley to be the next champion. Now, one can make the argument, and if you go check out Joe Cronin's review of this match over on his channel, Joe Cronin Show on YouTube, he actually makes the argument that he feels this was a cheap put over because of the success Charlotte's having on the WWE roster. And while you can definitely make that argument, I don't know if it's very valid, and here's why. Charlotte is in NXT. She's that grizzled veteran. She's that lady who's done it all, seen it all, but she's also somebody who's lost a lot recently in NXT. Not a lot, but she's been losing in NXT, so she's been vulnerable. Bayley has been red hot. She's Shawn Michaels. She's Shawn Michaels, and Charlotte's Bret Hart. Eventually, Shawn's got to beat Bret Hart. It has to happen. I understand that it's a little bit of a bad comparison because there was no title involved, but I mean the same concept. It's a passing of the torch because Sasha's going to do the same thing. Sasha's going to drop the belt to Bayley at some point. You have to expect, because they're really building Bayley to be that next rocket ship to carry the NXT women, this next wave of them. And Bayley's going to be the anchor point of that. So I think you really had to put her over strong, and I think we got that. It was a mutual respect match, which I always like to see, and it was well done. Also, Bayley won in an epic fashion. I think that's very important too, because sometimes it does matter how you beat somebody. And Charlotte didn't get beaten just by a normal Bayley to belly. She didn't get beaten by a roll-up. She got beaten by a second rope Bayley to belly slam, and it was awesome. It was great. It was a really, really cool move, and it was a good finish, I thought. All the emotion was there. Everything was there to make this match feel epic. It felt like a pay-per-view match in a lot of ways, and that's something that you want to see on television. It's really special, and I felt that this is one of those moments. Now, yes, because we kind of all knew it was coming with Charlotte going to WWE, it can feel cheap. It can feel a little bit, like, okay, this was happening. But I don't think it takes it away too much because of how beloved Bayley is. Like I've said before, and the meme says it all itself when it pops up. If you hate Bayley, you basically hate the cutest puppy in the world. I mean, it's really hard to hate this woman. And I just think that it was a really cool tip of the cap, passing of the torch type moment. And Charlotte worked a hell of a match, man. She gave Bayley, and that was the cool thing. That's another thing about this match. She gave Bayley everything. We saw her put Bayley through everything, and Bayley survived, and I think that's important. So, really good match. I thought it was very interesting, and it's a good start to this week's NXT. Let's move on, see what's next. 19 minutes 36 seconds in, and we just got an epic interview with Kevin Owens from Michael Cole. What a good interview, man. This interview, this promo is exactly why I love Kevin Owens so much. Why I think I see something in him that is going to really change this era a little bit. First, I love that he uses past references that wrestling fans are really going to hook onto. He called William Regal a man's man. I like that. He's a man, a manly man. I love that shit, and it's a cool little shout out to it. The Montreal Screwjob reference was really good. Yeah, it's not in Montreal, but it's on a Montreal boy. I love that. I thought that was a really good nod to history. I thought it was really smart. Just his pacing, his cadence, the way he talks, his inflections, his lack of emotion at times. The eyes that he makes, the facial expressions, everything is telling a story. It's all selling all the time. Kevin Owens sells all the time. That's what I want. I want a Kevin Owens t-shirt that says KO sells all the time. That's because that's what he does. And then finally, the asking, and I'm going to assume he's going to get the ladder match with Finn Balor at friggin' NXT TakeOver. Apparently, they don't care that they might overshadow SummerSlam. This is what's got my spider senses are tingling about how good this weekend, that weekend SummerSlam is going to be, because they're packing NXT with amazing matches, and they're not going to let SummerSlam be overshadowed, just like they didn't let WrestleMania get overshadowed from that San Jose show that NXT did 2 days prior. So I'm going to assume that whatever we see on NXT, we're going to see about 1 million times more juice at the pay-per-view of SummerSlam. Should be really interesting. Tell me what you guys think about the Kevin Owens segment in the comment section below. Also, now's a really good time. If you're not doing anything else, hit that like button, goddammit, because why the hell not? Let's get back to NXT and see what's happening next. 21 minutes in, and we get a short reconstruction of Bull Dempsey promo. Now, look, this is very comforting to me. And I'll tell you why. Because a month ago, when this thing started with Bull Dempsey, I was like, man, why are they burying this guy? Why are they doing this humiliation thing? Well, it seems like they have something more in plan, because now they're starting to let him turn the corner a little bit, and he had a very positive workout experience this time. I think it means something. I think we're going to see a new Bull Dempsey, and I believe that they have big plans for Bull Dempsey with this next wave of NXT stars, with the exodus of some of the guys that will be leaving or have already left. They need those next level guys. I believe we're going to get a debut of one really soon, but Bull Dempsey could be one of those guys. I think we'll see. So, but this promo tells me that they're at least having that thought. So let's see what happens. Do you have any interest in Bull Dempsey? Let me know in the comment section below. Tweet me at my Twitter, at DeadOnDaveV. Let me know what you think of Bull Dempsey. Let's get back to NXT. 23 minutes, 25 seconds in. Baron Corbin, another squash. Who gives a shit? And you know what? The crowd is starting to turn again on him because we are tired of it. Let's see what the guy can do. Fuck these squash matches. They are doing a disservice to Baron Corbin. And you know what? That NXT crowd that sees it every single time he wrestles is starting to get tired of it. They're getting tired of him. He's not Goldberg. There's never going to be another Goldberg. Having quick squash matches doesn't necessarily fucking work. It just doesn't. We want to see personality. We want to see this guy tell a story, and he's not by just squashing people. God, I'm tired of it. Get him off. Get him out. Get him out. Tired of it. I'm so pissed off at that match. Let's get back to it. 25 minutes in, Bayley goes into William Regal's office and asks very awkwardly for a NXT Women's title match. And instead, he gives her number one contenders match against Becky Lynch. So now it looks like Bayley is going to go over all three of the ladies that just appeared on WWE's main roster. Now that's interesting to me. That's a super push. And I'm just wondering if now I'm starting to question what I said earlier, because you don't want her to go over all three. It all depends on how she goes over them. I mean, you don't want, in some regards, you want the strongest possible situation for Bayley, but you kind of don't want it at the expense of all three of the girls. One or two of them, Charlotte and Sasha, makes a little bit of sense, but Becky, who was just coming into her own in NXT, got an early push to WWE. That one is a little bit more to me. I don't know. It's a little weird. But you know what? As long as it's done properly and the match is good and there's an epic finish, and maybe even she doesn't have to beat her there, it's very possible we get a triple threat match at NXT TakeOver, which is kind of something they enjoy doing. That wouldn't surprise me at all either. Becky, Bayley, and Sasha, yes, please. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. So let's get back and let's see what's next. I think we're getting a Tyler Breeze match. Let's find out. 30 minutes in, the matches keep coming hot and heavy. Another really quick match out of Pretty Boy, the Prince Pretty himself, Tyler Breeze, who squashes a tomato can. Who gives a shit? Quick match. Not the same as the Baron Corbin thing, because this is more of this is a story. You know, Tyler Breeze is talking to himself on a selfie stick because he wants a big match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And while William Regal has delivered, he announces after the match that he will be taking on the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger, and the crowd reacted very appropriately, which was cool. And then they show a video package of Jushin Thunder Liger, which was neat, kind of a reintroduction to modern day fans of just who this legend is, because I don't know if a lot of people will really appreciate how good Jushin Liger is. I love Jushin Thunder Liger. I'm really excited to see if he has anything for Tyler Breeze, if it's even the original Jushin Thunder Liger, which of course we don't know. So we'll see what happens. That should be interesting. Good opponent for Tyler Breeze. Let's see what is next on NXT. 32 minutes in, and wow, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn gets even bigger with the debut, the much anticipated debut of the powerhouse High Flyer. Yes, two combined. Uhaa Nation, better known now as, or will soon to be better known as, Apollo Crews. I love this name, Apollo Crews. He's quick, and like Apollo Creed, and he's got the body of Terry Crews. If that's the way they went with it, I love it. I love Apollo Crews. Great name. This guy's going to be fun, man. If you don't know who Uhaa Nation is, go check him out. Go watch videos right now of this guy. He's absolutely incredible, the moves that he's able to do. He does backflips like nobody else. He gets some of the most incredible height on his drop kick, and you see these in this video package as well. But you got to see it in matches. This guy is incredible. His strength, his athleticism, everything he brings to the table. He's awesome. And I think WWE is going to help him in some of the areas that he's lacking. So this is going to be really cool. I'm excited for this guy. This dude is going to deliver in the ring straight out. He's going to be nuts. I love it. He's like a miniature Brock Lesnar in a lot of ways with his athleticism and his power. But he could do things even Brock can't do, or at least Brock doesn't do. We're going to find out. It's going to be damn interesting. I can't wait to see. Lots of great stuff throughout this NXT so far. Good. We had an epic match. We've had a couple of shorties. We also got some great promo work, big announcements. So pretty epic NXT so far. Let's go ahead and see what's happening next. 37 minutes in, more good promo work, this time out of Finn Balor, who goes and talks about a lot of things when he in regards to Kevin Owens, and it all ultimately ends with him accepting the ladder match, but he's teasing if the Demon will show up. The Demon does not show up at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. There's something wrong, but they could want Finn to beat him without it. But I look, you go with the spectacle here. In a ladder match especially, which is already a spectacle, you go for double spectacle. So it would be nonsensical for the Demon to not show up. But we'll see. Should be quite interesting. I'll tell you this much. If it is just Finn Balor, he wins. If there's no Demon, he's going to win because they want to make him look as strong as humanly possible. We'll see what happens. See, this is the one thing, and this kind of talks to the whole women's point as well. It's tricky when you're transitioning guys in and out because you kind of have to have them do the job to people when they're leaving, but they still have to be strong in regards of the main roster because they're coming up. So it's a very tricky way to do it. I think sometimes you should just retire the belt and move the hell on, much like Paige did in a lot of ways. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be quite interesting to see what Finn Balor does and what this whole situation ends up being, and especially with the women as well. But for now, let's just get back to NXT and see the next match. I believe we're getting the Hype Brothers, which of course is Mojo Rawley, and Zack Ryder. Let's check it out. 44-16, and yes, indeed, it was the Hype Brothers versus Dawson and Wilder in a very good match that the Hype Brothers would get the victory with the High Bro, the High Bro, the Super Rough Rider, as I like to call it. That's a great move. It's a really cool move. They get the victory, but after it, Dawson and Wilder decide to take exception, and they hit a really impressive finisher, almost a 3D into a code breaker. It's pretty damn awesome. So Dawson and Wilder are now building some momentum, as well as the Hype Brothers. So now we're going to get a secondary tag team feud, which is pretty damn cool because they need to continue to build tag teams in this in the NXT. So it's going to be very cool to see that happen. I'm excited, man. I love that tag team wrestling and women's wrestling is becoming important again, because if you're going to have a division, why ignore it? Why belittle it? Why make it less? So to me, they're just doing what they should be doing. The smart thing. What's best for business. And that's putting proper emphasis on all your divisions. So let's go ahead and find out what's next. I know we're getting that real close to the main event, Rhino and Samoa Joe, which I'm really looking forward to. 45 minutes and 25 seconds in, and looks like we get one more promo, and then it's time for the main event of the night, which I'm very much looking forward to. This time, the Vaudevillains go into William Regal's office, and they find out they get a NXT Tag Team Championship rematch because you don't disrespect chivalry. You just don't do it. And William Regal makes a nice tease saying, hey, you guys should really think about trying to figure out a way to offset and contain Alexa Bliss. So expect the Vaudevillains to be bringing in a Villainess, a Vaudevillainess. Look for it to happen. Who should it be? Who do you think it's going to be? That's an interesting thing. And how is she going to look? Steak and eggs and eggs and steak. So that should be quite interesting. Let's find out. Oh boy, main event time. Samoa Joe, Rhino. Let's do this. One more quick vignette, because why the hell not? There hasn't been enough. Bull did it. Bull did it. He lifted the weights. He did the little running thing with the hot chick there. And then he takes that big tire and he throws it over onto the ground, steps on it. The new Bull Dempsey is here. But he's still fat. NXT Main Event. Rhino and Samoa Joe next. So end of the show. And we got Rhino and Samoa Joe. And I think Samoa Joe's best match since debuting. Rhino did a really good job of doing what Rhino does, and that makes other people look really good. If he's not destroying people, he works good matches. And because he's so big and so intimidating, he sells for you so well because it means something. It looks like it's really important when you do things to him. Samoa Joe absolutely cooked in this match. He got a really good reaction from the crowd, something I feel has been missing over the last few weeks. But tonight it all came together. I thought it was a really solid match. The ending was unique and cool, and I'll tell you why. A lot of people are probably like, well, why did he go up to the top rope like that? Well, it's because if you listened, you heard Rhino, after he got a really nice clothesline, said, "Rhino driver!" And that's a move that he does off the middle turnbuckle, which is like basically a pile driver off the fucking turnbuckle. It's awesome, off the ropes. And so he set himself up there, and Joe hit a super enziguri and then muscle busts him for the victory. Great match, great setup by two veterans who just know how to get a lot of... I think this is better than their feud in TNA. This match was better than any match they had in TNA. Or at least it's right there with it. Maybe I missed some stuff, but I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a really good match. The show tonight was epic. It was almost too epic. When you go back and you look at the sum of all of its parts, we got great promo work. We got vignettes that were funny and interesting and captivating. We got announcements. Jushin Thunder Liger returning. We got Bayley and Becky next week, #1 contendership. We have a ladder match announcement for the NXT title at frickin' Brooklyn. Bayley and Charlotte had an incredible opening contest. U-Haul Nation are now Apollo Creed making his debut at NXT Brooklyn. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And then we got a really solid main event out of Samoa Joe and Rhino. Samoa Joe positioning himself nicely for the future. So maybe he does have a little bit more in NXT than just All Burial or any other thing. I think we're going to start seeing some great things out of Samoa Joe. Awesome show, man. I give it a 9.5. The show is maybe another epic, maybe a 9. 9 is more fair because there was a couple squash matches that weren't very interesting. But overall, it was incredible. Great night of wrestling from NXT. And from what I understand, they had to be because I haven't watched it yet. I don't know if I'm going to, but Ultimate Lucha Part 2, which I had a lot of people telling me, you got to watch this. The first one was awesome. I went back and watched the first one, and I was just like, it's still the same problems that I always have with Lucha. The fact that it still always feels like a television show. You know, it doesn't feel like a wrestling event. I feel the spots take too long to set up. Stuff like that. It's the same. Some of the wrestling wasn't horrible, but look, none of the wrestling's horrible. That's not fair. But it's just not my bag of tea, man. It's not my bag of balloons. It's not my cup of tea. Just what it is. But it's okay. Other than that, that's all I got. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share. And check out everything that's going on within the channel. If you want to donate, go into the description box below. Hit that link and donate to Dead on Dave Productions. And enjoy your day, folks. And we'll see you next time. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Peace.